DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather. What's going on?
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder.
My name is Gennady Golovkin.
And you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dante's Boxing Nation. This is AK/Aki reporting. If you're trying to get smarter by the minute, subscribe below. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual-ass fans. But before we get it rolling, I just want to say a little side note. Dante gave me the opportunity to post on his platform every now and then to share my thoughts and opinion. So I just want to get that cleared. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, that will be in the description box below. But while you at it, show love and support to Dante's Cooking Nation and also Dante's Travel Nation. But let's get straight to it. So Khabib went beast mode on Conor McGregor last night. And officially from now on, he's known as Khabib. It ain't Khabib no more. But let's keep it moving now. Conor McGregor, y'all cannot make him seem like the victim now. He was doing all the bullying. Now when the bully get bullied, y'all got a problem with that? A lot of people that say that, they have a bully mentality because Khabib just did what he told you he was gonna do. This fight was deeper than just a regular fight. This ain't just your average beef. This is what street shit that was involved. Conor McGregor even went as far as saying that if Khabib don't show up fight night, he's gonna take care of him outside the ring. He said if he would have got out of the bus, he would have killed him basically. He probably would have been locked up. He went so far and dissed his dad, his religion, his race, everything you could think of. Khabib even had to respond to him and say, yo, you're not fighting my dad, you fighting me. I could be talking shit about your dad and say, look how he raised you, acting a fool out here, but I'm not gonna talk about your dad. But after the fight, I ain't gonna shake your hand either. And Conor says the same thing. He kept the same energy. He said after the fight, this is beef till I die. You know, like that's the thing they own. I mean, this been on since Conor McGregor got the title shot versus Eddie Alvarez when Khabib signed to fight Eddie Alvarez at the time already. But some way, somehow, Conor just got the title shot right after winning the 145 title from Aldo. So after that, Khabib felt some type of way, and Conor never defended the belt. So after Conor, boy got punked by Khabib, when Conor flew 30 dudes to Brooklyn and that whole bus incident happened, how y'all gonna try to take the victory from Khabib and not give him the belt after the fight when Conor did literally the same thing and maybe worse with the bus incident? Y'all gonna throw that under the table? Y'all trying to make it seem like Conor is the innocent guy here. And he the one who started all this with the bus incident, with the way he's talking shit, that you're talking so much trash, calling him a terrorist, etc., that he's not gonna let that slide. You're talking so much about his family, he could let that shit that you say about him go, but when you talk about your family, then it's deeper than just a regular fight. So one thing we won't do is take Khabib belt away from him, suspend him, but y'all didn't suspend Conor when he jumped the fence and fought the referee. Yeah, y'all think we forgot about that? All fighters must be treated equal. Y'all didn't suspend Conor McGregor for the bus incident, but y'all want to suspend Khabib for literally jumping the whole team on some gangster shit? I mean, he just fought. He should be tired. He went beast mode and somebody was talking shit to him. I don't know what they said to him. Probably brought some shit about his family or something that made him pull the trigger and do something out of his element. So don't corner somebody and force them to pull the trigger, and when they pull the trigger and shoot, then you surprised. So during the whole incident, it's not like Conor was innocent, he was just chilling, he got jumped after that. Nah, he went and actually hit one of Conor's teammates first that was jumping the fence trying to join Khabib, right? So when that happened, you just took a L. You better be humble with it after talking all that shit and you couldn't back it up. Especially when you twist things around and trying to put Khabib in a hot seat You know Khabib ain't that great of a trash talker, so you trying to make him look like the bad guy here and painting this bad image on him and going wild crazy. So after the fight, he actually hit one of Khabib's teammates first. But the only difference is Khabib won the fight and he jumped the whole team head on. They went and tried to jump him on the bus when he couldn't leave the bus because they didn't let him open the bus, right? He brought like 30 guys when they could have met somewhere, like Khabib said. But he chose to bring people to the Brooklyn thing, right? But Khabib jumped the whole team face to face after the victory because his adrenaline was running. You can't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Now, meanwhile, Conor trying to save face and he just lost. So he hit one of Khabib's teammates who wasn't even attacking him, who was actually jumping the fence trying to help Khabib, right? Then he got sucker punched, being a sucker because he was trying to, you know what I mean, sucker punch somebody. So he got sucker punched in the process. Somebody jumped the fence from behind him and hit him a couple times, gave him a 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Then they broke that fight out. So if he a street guy, let him handle it the street way. That's his way of handling it. He saw Khabib do something out of his element, so he went on and threw some punches too. So when he get hit, y'all can't be saying, oh, you're supposed to respect your opponent in defeat, because both fighters already stated that they're not going to shake each other's hand after the fight. And they're going to look down on the loser. Like, both fighters stated that. It's not just one particular opponent. But like Floyd always say, if you give it, you got to be able to take it. And Conor was able to give it, but he wasn't able to take it. And he was talking all that shit, but he didn't back it up. That's the difference between him and Floyd Mayweather. Also, Floyd Mayweather never fought somebody and disrespected his family, his religion. Floyd never did anything like that. He never downgraded himself to that level. And Floyd also, he kept it. There's a line he never crossed. And he never had that hatred toward an opponent. Even when he fought Manny, Manny was his rival, he never had that hatred toward Pacquiao. He was actually respectful toward Pacquiao. So like I said, at the end of the day, that's the difference between him and Floyd. And if anybody is as closest to Floyd in the UFC, that's Khabib. As far as record, is because he's undefeated. He ain't never lost a fight. He never lost a round. If you count the third round of the Conor Khabib fight, if you're being generous and you give it to Conor McGregor, then that's one round he lost his whole UFC career. So Conor McGregor could be proud and say, hey, at least I was the guy who won a round versus Khabib. You know what I mean? But the only thing Khabib never did is move up divisions, which, you know, he probably won't even be able to do that, because if they strip him and they give the title to Conor and let him fight Tony, that'd be ridiculous. I feel like the UFC is staged now. If that happened, they already didn't want to give Khabib the belt after the fight. They didn't want to give him a post-fight interview. And he walked out of the ring without his belt. Khabib even told Dana White, just put the belt on me and just let me walk away with my belt. That's all I want. You could find me, do whatever after. And Dana White, he was like, nah, they're going to be throwing bottles, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I don't care about none of that. He was like, oh, but we do. It's like, really? They're going to throw bottles into the octagon? He beat the man fair and square. If that little thing that happened after the fight, it is what it is. Conor did the same thing in Brooklyn. Conor did the same thing when he jumped the fence and fought the referee. So why is Khabib any different? They treat Woodley the same way. Why? Is it because he's colored? Is it because Khabib is Muslim? Why they get treated differently than the white fighters in the UFC? Well, you gotta be bald head to be the face of UFC? Like, what's the deal in the UFC? I guess boxing ain't the only corrupt sport, right? But they could paint their perfect picture of what they want the image of the UFC to be. But one thing for sure, they cannot fight for that person. The fans cannot fight for that person. So The underdog always gonna come up on top. No matter how you look at it, no matter what, with time, as long as you win, guess what? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Because you see, Conor could talk all that shit, but you gotta win to be able to talk shit. You can't just lose and keep the same energy, because you're gonna start looking like AB instead of looking like Floyd Mayweather. And one thing for sure, he ain't Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd, they try to dethrone him for the longest when it comes to his reign in boxing. But he always stayed on top, always dominated. And that's why he's money made. And for Khabib, welcome to Floyd Mayweather world, where you get hated for no reason. Make it worse, Khabib is a respectful guy. He don't even talk trash. So why you hating on him if you are? Woodley get treated the same way in the UFC. And that's why UFC is turning to a sport that's, if you ain't white, it ain't right. And I remember even when Floyd fought Conor McGregor, when he fought him, it was crazy. I would ask people, and 90% of the people I asked who's gonna win the fight, they say Conor McGregor. And all of them, every single one of them, when I ask them the question of, why you think he gonna win? They be like, oh, I just want him to win. I think Floyd gonna win. So to my surprise, I follow up with, you think Floyd gonna win, but you're picking Conor? That's dumb. If you already know Floyd gonna win, why you don't pick Floyd? They be like, oh, I don't like Floyd though. I be like, oh, why you don't like Floyd? And they be like, they all say the same shit. I don't like Floyd Mayweather because he talks too much shit. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Conor McGregor talked the most shit out of everybody. So that can't be the reason. We know what's the reason. You hate Floyd for something you don't want to mention because it's going to make you look bad. That's why. Because if Conor was respectful like Khabib and he's humble, etc., then it would have made sense, right? But if he talks more shit than Floyd, that's when it don't make no goddamn sense. But it do make sense if you could read between the lines. But getting back to the main topic, basically Khabib did everything Conor wanted to do, from having that gangster moment after the fight, from living up to the expectations, from having the undefeated record. And the UFC could try to take his belt away from him, but they can't take the history he made. That's one thing they could never take away. On top of that, Khabib made his family proud, he made everybody proud, and he made his fans proud of him, because he did what he was supposed to do in the octagon. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor couldn't do so, even though he had his whole team behind him, while Khabib couldn't even bring his own dad, which is his trainer, to the US because he don't have a visa, which is crazy. They don't grant him a visa or a visit to the US to attend his own son fight. And it's not like it's a local fight. Nah, this is the biggest fight in the UFC history. And they couldn't provide that for Khabib trainer or dad, really, but we know what time it is. Now, for the people that's about to come over here that don't have a strong point, or they don't have anything to say to what I just exposed, but they want to talk trash and say, hey, you don't know nothing about UFC, stick to boxing, blah, blah, blah. But I promise you I know UFC more than you do. And if you want to talk about it, you can always come on Dante's Boxing Nation radio show on Sundays, and we could go back and forth. Matter of fact, I give you a one-on-one time. You could call me and I record the call and I post it afterwards. Because everything I say, I back it up with facts. On top of that, look at my predictions. I get them right for a reason. Even if I get a prediction wrong, I'm going to tell you how the other guy's going to win. And it most likely will play out that way. And that's how it's been, and that's how it's going to be. Now, if some crazy shit happened with somebody get knocked out too early, hey, it's boxing, it's UFC, it's fighting. Anything can happen. And just like I told y'all in this fight, if Khabib fight his fight and take Conor down, it's a wrap. And when I saw Khabib actually hurt Conor standing up, I knew it was over. Just like if an inside fighter is losing an inside fight against a boxer who likes to keep his range, that's how you know the brawler ain't gonna win a boxing match. Same with the UFC. I mean, you got Khabib was getting the best of Conor standing up in the second round, I was like, oh man, he hurt Conor standing up, and that's supposed to be Conor bread and butter right there. But Conor fans need to let it go, because apparently they on that whiskey and they starting riots after the fight, and they not doing Conor any good because they taking L's as well. I guess since Conor took an L, they decided they want to take an L too. There's viral videos of bunch of fights, a bunch of, you know, Irish fans who are literally drunk from that, probably the whiskey, like I said, and they getting hurt and they embarrassing themselves. So they should treat this like the sport it is, which is UFC, and have sportsmanship and give credit to the winner, which is Khabib, because he deserves all the credit in the world. It ain't that easy to be undefeated in the UFC. It's unheard of. On top of that, Conor deserves everything that happened to him. Talking all that trash and couldn't back it up. Even after the fight, if he was innocent and he didn't make any moves, then we could be on his side. But like I said, he actually swung on somebody first. Then he got hit later. You sucker somebody, somebody gonna sucker punch you back, period. That's how the game goes. And I'm gonna end the video with this. If you're not a lion, don't roar in front of a lion if you're not one. Because you come to a lion fight, you a deer, you're gonna get hunted. That's basically what happened between Khabib and Conor McGregor. And just to let it be known, I'm actually a huge Conor fan because he got me into the UFC when he turned pro. But he went overboard with this fight. He violated the code and he got what he deserved and what he asked for. But congratulations to Khabib and his victory tonight. He made history with it. If you're trying to get smarter by the minute, subscribe below. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual ass fans, and peace.